Well, we do see the Storm Spirit come out after they picked up the Brewmaster, which should solidify this Ogre as a 4. And actually, even if you go for a Bloodlust build with the slow being leveled as well, Brewmaster and Ogre put out a lot of damage with that combo.
Yeah, they could play versus the Ancient plus Wraith King pretty easily. So Ogre plus Brew should do fairly well on that lane. You could also put Ogre plus the Necro and then have melee plus range on the safe lane, Grimstroke plus Brew, melee plus range on the off lane, and that could work out well for Hippos. I like their draft so far. It's looking good. What they are lacking, however, is some solid catch for this Storm. That's why the TFT picked it so early. Now, if you are Hippomaniacs, you really have to be considering some counter pick for Storm and just a straight up counter pick on mid, because you have no other ways of catching him. Later on in the game, he's gonna wreak havoc all over you if you don't. They ban out the Kunkka.
There should be an Ember ban, right? Like Ember feels really good against TFT's lineup. They don't have like a point cost on, yeah.
They also don't have a lot of catch besides that Storm later on, but Ember much stronger than Storm in the laning stage early on.
And the Searing Chains later as well. And it has been a typical pattern, actually. Usually, if Storm gets picked, the Ember gets banned out, or we see the final phase, Storm and Ember be picked out.
Yes, definitely.
The Spirit Boys are getting times in, you know? It's a beautiful thing, Liz.
Let's see what TFT opts to go for here. What they're gonna ban out. They stole the Wraith King. Are they gonna ban out the Ember?
Works well against most of these heroes is the thing as well. Like if you do go for, say you go for the
my issue with the Ember, with the Ember is that Hippomaniacs, they have drafted themselves in a corner in which they have to deal with the Storm Spirit, but at the same time they have to deal with the fact that they have absolutely no tower push on their side. So you have multiple things that you have to address with this last pick, and that's never a very easy situation to be in. On the side of TFT, at least you have those little Skelly bros.
That's true.
Wraith King is really good at pushing only with the skeletons. I don't know if you saw those things, but they're pesky early on. They can just deal with you so easily. And now we have the Kotl as well, yeah.
And I think actually another thing to highlight here is, while it'd be nice to have this Ember, if you look at Hippomaniac's lineup, you wouldn't get the Storm matchup in that scenario. That'd be a safe lane Ember. And then you'd be putting the Necrophos mid against the Storm, which isn't the most optimal of choices.
You have, okay, with this last pick, Kotl, you're going to have Kotl plus Sand King, a very old school combination of heroes, versus that most likely what's going to be a Necro. But we're going to have to wait and see with this last pick. And then you're going to have AA plus Wraith King, which is a solid lane. You have that Cold Feet plus the stun.
That's true. They actually have a lot of lockdown, right? When you get into this mid-game, Burrow Strike, Cold Feet, Ray Fire Blast, Vortex, every hero provides you with some sort of lockdown. Shouldn't be underestimated the potency of AA plus Sand. Like when you actually start to level into that Vortex, and you buff up the magic damage that comes out from the Sand King, anyone on the side of Hippomaniacs could be killed very easily.
I'm just interested in seeing what their last pick is going to be right now, because honestly, I couldn't choose the right hero right now. Yeah. Dragon Knight comes to my mind. It gives you some push,
but then
it's not that great. It's not really a hero that scales too well. TA, yeah, I mean, all right. It is somewhat an obvious choice, as it allows you to lane versus Storm fairly well. Also, you're going to have Bloodlust to buff you up later on. With that Dazzlator, it's going to give you some push too. But like, you're going to end up in that situation in which Frost has that Radiance, and then suddenly you're just not doing enough on this TA. That's how I feel, but they can prove me wrong. This can definitely go both ways. Again, I think the Final Tribe, they have a slight advantage when it comes to their draft. I think it's looking much more solid, like they have everything covered properly. But then again, there's going to be this... is this a position 5 Ogre? Position 4... I don't like this. Senny, he played the position 5 last game, right? So Yeah, I was like hoping that this ogre is gonna be some crazy position 4 that gets a lot of harm, gets that gold talent, gets agonyms. Then you have the soul bind with the double stuns and stuff like that. But no, it looks like this might be your position 5 ogre, and I'm just not that into it. So yeah, maybe they surprise us. You never know. It is a stack that we don't see very often. A check stack. They have like definitely the spirit that can carry them into the game tree, but they really have to perform out of their mind if they're gonna win with this draft, I believe.
Absolutely. It's just we were kind of puzzled where they were going to go in that final pick. You know, we mentioned the Ember. We discussed that a little bit. But then after we had that discussion, I immediately looked back. I was like, but they don't have any like real right-click carrier. Anyone who's going to like frontline it and take it late game. It does feel like Hippomaniacs have put themselves heavily on the clock. There's no fallback plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the question is whether Supreme can basically reign supreme, because he has to in this game. He's really the only one that can snowball out of control. At least they picked a decent hero.
No, there is comeback. The comeback is the late game potential is the six slots. He's gonna whack you. It's fine. It can happen.
Yeah, it gets his Shadowblade Basher, Mask of Madness.
It's a trap.
Kappa. No, overall, this is what I want to say. If you put this Grimstroke on position 4, what do you get from it? You get an easier level 10 on him. You get that 90 gold per minute talent, and with the Stroke of Fate, you can possibly get a really fast Aetherlance into Hex, which is allow you to have an easier game versus Storm Spirit. So in that way, it's good. At the same time, that hero gets a lot of farm in any case. Putting Ogre on a position 5 kind of sacks him.
Speaking of Ogre, they found him. Ray Fire Blast. The Illuminate's going to be charged up, sending down a half HP. Jeep moving across right now.
Do they have the Impale? Oh, no. They don't have Barrow Strike.
They can't get close enough. And then at the same time, you're an off-lane Sand King leveling Barrow Strike.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be that bad to get the first blood there, I suppose. But yeah, overall, you're right.
I saw that.
Still hold on. And yeah, no, I think the other issue you mentioned is like the Grimstroke. Be cute. You can get Aether Lens, you can Hex. But let's be totally real here. If you do that, who's buying the Spirit Vessel that would be very useful for your team?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many variables that this Grimstroke pick has to address, and it's going to be hard to see if he can. Curry being chased on too. Also, let him out. Ogre sneaking for the other rune. They finally realized the solution is not to attack the Ogre, to attack the Necrophos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that 8 armor on Ogre, he's a very hard to kill early on.
Yeah, you don't even need his stout, as you can see.
As demonstrated a bit earlier.
Like, how often on a melee hero do you say stout is maybe overkill? Well, Ogre fits that cast of heroes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely does. You can see he's already attacking the Sand King, trying to zone him out. He has 2 sentries ready in the ball, so they want to use these sentries to...
They baited him in, though. They took a lot of damage from the Illuminate Blast. The problem is Jeeves taking even more damage. They're going to run him down. One more hit needed. They'll get it. Curry with the first blood. He strikes.
And Zen, he didn't even lose half of it. That whole engagement. He's just standing in front, tanking the creeps, tanking the Kotl, not really caring whatsoever. With that 8 armor, he can do exactly that.
The bulky boy.
They lose the first sentry. Now they have to use the second one really well, so that they see Sand King and also the ward. But there's another sentry on the Sand King, so...
Yeah, that way in. There's been the
Look at how he
thing.
runs.
Yeah, he's feeling good, but the problem is he needs to be a little bit careful here. They get level 2. Luckily for him, Jeeb still got some way to go on the XP front.
Yeah, he understands that Sand King was that for really... I mean, for the first creep wave, so he's not gonna get that too anytime soon.
Crucial raid as well, because if he did have that too, then 100%, even if you are this tank, he's the Ogre, you're dead. Because you actually think about it, TFT, yes, you got a lot of armor on Ogre, but most of their damage is magic in this lane. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna chase in right now. Jeeb makes
just zoning them out.
Yeah. He has level 2 though, so he could go for a Barrow Strike play. He doesn't want to have to though, is the thing. So he goes for the Caustic instead. We'll salve up.
Salve as well.
He's just toying him.
It's gonna be broken, yeah.
Nope.
Oh, maybe
he
not.
sees the opportunity to just toy with him more. The thing is, Senny isn't that friend because he knows now that he doesn't have the Barrow Strike.
I saw that ending
Some of the creeps
from
through.
miles away.
He's just going to hang around, get that second wave stacked. Meanwhile, top has been quite quiet. Not too surprising. Let's go change right now, though, as they move in. Colby's going to come out. Ray Fire Blast as well. Brewmaster gets the clap just in time. One more hit needed. Muff will find it, and Eric goes down. Meanwhile,
He gets a really good kill on them, on him right there. And Frost should be pressured a bit more afterwards. But so far, just free farming under the tower, doing fairly well. And on the mid lane as well, the TA doing a little bit better than the Storm. This matchup has changed a tad bit. The Storm is a bit stronger in the lane, and TA is too. So it can go either way, but I believe TA should have a slight advantage for sure.
Jesse does have a regen rune, but maybe a little bit too early for his own good, of course. Not like he's level 6 and can actually get some value out of the ball lightning. Oh, that salve. It was almost awkwardly timed. The side blade hit a millisecond before he used it.
Yeah, he still has that region to work with, so doesn't really care way too much.
Definitely. And of course he can go do this because that regen rune just try and supplement his farm in the jungle a little bit. Bot lane shenanigans. Sheep still cutting between the towers, but Curry is so content with this.
I really like this. Ogre is just porting top. I love that move. I love that they're gonna
the mega moves
again. Yeah.
This is such an easy kill.
Can they get him though?
Brock. Maybe not this time. He's moving too fast. He salves up. Ray Fire Blast comes out. Skelly Bros get involved. Muff has to run for high hills.
Yeah, so this rotation was well read, and now the A survives and they rotate Hanskin too with his Kotl. Overall, I think this needed to happen because Ogre wasn't really helping Necro. Panda?
Oh, they'll move away because they Ray Fire Blasted first. Now Senny, they don't want to have to harass him too hard, too tanky again. But they'll go for Ray Fire Blast. There you go, Cold Feet done right this time, and now the blast through. One more hit will do it. Muff trying to move in, but too late with the Inkswell. He might go down as well if he's not careful. But luckily for him, Chill and Touch has a reasonable cooldown at level 2.
Yeah, he managed to get out. Ogre sadly did not manage to do the same thing, and now without that port, he's just gonna run mid, give sentries to the TA, most likely as she's reaching that level 6, and it's very important to give that sentries to her as soon as she's 6, as it allows her to get some solo pickoffs and pressure the enemy midder even harder.
Thank God you explained all that. I heard the words support run mid, and I had a bad feeling for a second there. Luckily, these guys aren't your typical puppets. She seemed to pull through, and he's
Whoever
actually...
talks about pubs, it's like everyone is feeding pubs. That's how I feel. Like everyone is having the worst pubs of lives.
See, I don't get it. I don't have it too bad, but every once in a while, like Q&A, I've noticed some bad experiences there. I'm not like sticking it on that region alone, but I get what some of my NA friends are talking about.
No, the only time I had really bad pubs is when I was behavior score F because I spammed like 20 games of techies.
Oh, you told me this. Yeah, you were techie spamming.
Yeah, and I had like behavior score F after a while, and I had what was his nickname? The guy that would buy Ghost every game, not Ghost, Shadow Amulet.
Oh, Chappie.
Chappie, yeah, I would have Chappie in every single game. Like that was legitimately the worst experience. But even that ended after a few days. I got normal behavior score. It was all right.
It's like one of those nightmare experiences that turn out to be actually quite tame. Like, it was horrible for a few days, but then it was actually okay.
Yeah, it was all right after again.
Who's having a horrible time so far here, though? It looks like Storm is, despite how you think he might be able to contain himself, it looks like he's actually going to die here. He's in trouble. Needs to just check the damage out. Reinforcements on the way, but the problem is Senny's here as well. The trap comes out, and Hanskin in trouble. Supreme, think twice about diving too far, but Storm dying like that between the tier 1 and tier 2 is still pretty bad.
I'm pretty certain Supreme could have went for that kill, but he's worried that Hanskin has Blinding Light leveled up, and because of that he doesn't. That Salve is going to be broken though. Well played by him.
Consolation prize. Senny's still hanging around in the mid here, and they'll know that. The problem is this whole area is now laced with traps.
That's pretty much why these sentries are so important early on for TA, as with those sentries she's able to control the lane and prevent the Storm from getting the 6 so early on. He does get it in the end, but right now it doesn't really matter. He already fell once to her. And you asked me before, like, who is really having the worst laning stage right now, and it's definitely the Storm. in comparison to this Templar Assassin that is, as she's just dominated him early on.
Meanwhile, bot, Jeep almost given a harder time. They ping him out, but they didn't have the vision to throw out the scythe. Like to make a difference. But I guess right now, TFT's mindset has to be try and find some plays away from the TA, but more importantly, just, you know, tide your time, buy time really, because once again, it's always going to come back to what we said about Hippomaniacs lineup, which is if this does go late, funnily enough, just like last game, TFT's draft is much stronger.
Frost, top lane.
Going in, Brave Fire Blast, they proc the Inkswell, Clap as well, Frost getting pretty low. Qualifier is going to proc though, Saberlight needs to back away, can't do it quick enough, and Frost will live.
I agree with you to some extent. Like late game, definitely TFT might have a small advantage, but it can go either way. Like if you see this Hippo's team, they have Necro with the Sight, they have the TA, they have the Panda as well, who can go for something greedy like Midas and Radiance. Like it can go either way, but definitely the early game did not go their way, TFT's way that is.
I guess the point would be that arguably any team can feel strong enough at their head, right? But like imagine in this scenario you're like 40 minutes in, the teams are even. Does TFT not just inherently feel stronger?
Definitely. They have a team that with the Sand King A and Storm, they're going to be able to cut the lines, get on top targets a bit earlier and easier.
Deep. The only guy who can handle this lane. Oh, he's charging up the epicenter right now. Supreme going to be hit up by it. Let's have the melt to hide though.
Skill. Yeah. Has to be careful even.
I think he was hoping maybe Arrow was 6. Maybe there's like a miscall there because he's definitely not got that Ice Blast yet.
I mean, it's only 9 minutes in, and Dera didn't really have the best time of his life on that lane, so you can't really expect him to have that 6. And also, when you're in a situation like this one in a team, you're always asking that A when he has his 6, and he always gives you that info because it's such a huge power spike if he gets it before minute 10, that is.
Okay. So you reckon it was more Jeep saying, I'm not going to use this epicenter for anything else. The least I can do is force TA off lane.
Maybe he was thinking he has enough damage, which definitely was not the case there, so he uses it, wastes it, but does force that TA back, so there's that.
Gets a Shrine out of it, and Shrines have longer cooldowns than epicenter, so clear value gain.
Exactly.
And it looks like Hippomaniacs might find some value. They're pushing in on the tier 2 here. I get some damage done, but they're trying to force
Necro has a hood. This Necro has a hood, so he's a really hard hero to kill, especially as there's no Era ult yet. You don't have Ice Blast yet, so...
How hard? Because they're going to test it. They go Saberlight first. They want to get rid of the split opportunity. And look at this. Ignis catches on the Curry right on the edge. Just in time for runes to be picked up by the Grimstroke. They don't chase on the Curry, though. They'll let them get away. They need to go attend to the lanes because it looks like Hippomaniacs just got their hands on 4 runes.
Yep. There was no Ice Blast, but the hero that we haven't really been talking about whatsoever is Keeper of the Light. He gets that Will-O-Wisp, gets that level 6, and gives them enough time to take down Brewmaster before he splits. So.
Breaking. Reincarnate pop. Even if you don't kill him now, that is a painful moment for Frost here. 200 seconds without a second life.
Yeah, he's only level 6 though, so... It's not like he was close to that level 2 ult and he was saving the point or anything like that. He just realizes that that's gonna save him and he's working towards his Midas, so he really does not want to die there. As long as he understands that he's not gonna die afterwards instantly, it's worth it to just pop that ult.
Okay, they thought twice about it. Jeep was getting tempted. He did have the epicenter again, but then again, you'd be diving tower through it this time. Looks like some aggression coming out from Hippomaniacs in the bot lane, but classic call. Keeps that lane pushed out with the Illuminate blasts. It's just rinse, repeat. E, Q, W. Back behind the trees.
Just defend and bide your time. Just wait. Wait for the Sand King to get his Whale, to get his Blink. I think if you are TFT, you can make some plays, but you're not really forced to. And right now, it's the Hippomaniacs that are in front, that are trying to force them to defend these towers. You can see that Necro is going for that Radiance right now after the hood. It's a good pick, definitely. It's a strong item on him. In this game too, what worries me is the fact that I believe he needs Yules as well. He needs some more sustain versus these heroes. Versus the AA Ice Blast, versus the silences that are gonna come up soon. Oh, mid
Fire
lane
strike?
stun on Supreme.
Yeah, they can't commit heavily though. They did have the Ignis, the Ice Blast will follow through too late. And Chessie still doesn't have that power spike of the level 2 Ball Lightning. Deep, revealed. Dust, stuns coming in. Senny going pretty deep. Taking a lot of damage actually. He's gonna get pretty low. Ice Blast won't kill him off though. They're committed heavily. They'll get the tower.
He just ran in. He had that Ice Blast, but he realized that if he does that, he's gonna make the Sand King go away, and then the tower is free for them to take. So it's not the worst play. Maybe could have waited a few more seconds so he doesn't risk the Ice Blast pop damage, but it was good enough.
Looks like Frost finally has his Midas, but bad news may be on the way for TFT because Templar Assassin hasn't brought it out yet, but does have a Desolator complete.
Yeah, Desolator completed. After that, possibly Roshan, as they have the Panda split. That's pretty much the biggest objective that they can take right now. The only question is how much of the map are they gonna give away if they do go for that Aegis attempt. And at the same time, you would go into that pit versus Sand King versus Kotl. It's not so easy, even with the Desolator. You have to be careful.
Yeah, unless you can maybe force the ults up forehand or
Maybe get a
off.
smoke, pick off, and after that go in.
Looks like they're thinking about it as well. TA's here. I've got the smoke on Muff, but like you can't gank with the TA. You want preferably the Brew or more optimally Curry with that Scythe.
Yeah, Curry is still on the top lane. I believe they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait. Look at his gold. He is 3.3k.
No. They've smoked. Deep. He'll Power Strike away though. They're gonna keep on chasing. Inkswell still going through, but Shiva's fine.
Yeah.
Well, they
this
tried.
could be punished. Yeah, they tried, but this can be punished hard. So they have to be careful about the way they do it. As there is still no Necro, he doesn't want to fight. He's getting closer to his. And Storm, if he zips in with the A ult, with the Sand King stun, they can get an easy kill on almost anyone. They're gonna try to go pit. This is very ballsy.
Well, especially with Brewmaster show on bot and Necrophos top, only one will be able to get there in time. Brave King's moving across right now. Frost has the reincarnate.
They realize this isn't gonna happen. There's Kotl as well with the blinding light, with the Illuminate to scout them all the time. It's a really ballsy move. Without having a smoke and a pick off first, it's not happening. And I believe it's better for them that it's not happening, because they could just fall there. They could just die there. And if they die with this kind of a lineup that needs to snowball, that needs to keep the pressure, they just might fall apart. So it's good.
They're doing it again though, under the vision of the Ice Vortex, because this is another thing about AA.
Right.
For all his weaknesses, he gives you permanent vision in that pit. The constant cast. A lot of TA's time is being wasted on these attempts. And Senny, the Mate Blast charged up. They back away though. Necrophos incoming. Deep zoning him around. He's ready to jump in. No Blink Dagger to work with, but the Veil online does a decent amount of damage. All the while, Chessie getting ever closer to that level 2 Ball Lightning when he can finally participate in fights and have an actual impact.
Yeah, he's moving closer to his level 12. Wraith King did not opt to go for that Radiance build, by the way. Instead, what he's doing is buying that earlier Armlet. That's going to allow him to perhaps even take this fight on his own. He's going to be able to be the frontliner around the Rosh pit.
That feels pretty smart to you, because like it's him saying, I'm going to match your aggression, right? Because I know you have to win this point in the game.
Overall, it's all right if you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, as you're going to have Chessie on that Storm also just scaling really well, as he's not forced to just create space and farm all the time, right? And fight all the time. He can actually farm a bit. Looking at it that way, getting something that's going to allow Frost to fight a bit earlier is good. But at the same time, it's a pretty decent Radiance game. So I would love to see that Radiance on him too eventually.
The good news about their attempts into Roche so far is that Hippomaniac's behavior has forced Jeeb to more or less station himself in this mid lane at all times. Bad news, though, is they found no way of actually killing.
Yeah, but Jeeb, exactly. They didn't find to kill him. They didn't find a way of killing him, and because of that, he's just farming mid, and he's keeping tabs on Roshan, and now he almost has that Blink Dagger completed. So even though he's been stuck around mid trying to deny them the Rosh attempt, he hasn't really suffered when it comes to the net worth. He's still farming.
They at least slow down the AA a little bit from reaching that 10 talent, which Could be noticeable, but they're going back in again. Ice Vortex spots him out. The difference this time around is that Supreme has an escape mechanism with that Blink Dagger. Question is whether we'll get a chance to use it. He just blinks out. He's paranoid. Man, they are probing back. They want this so badly, but TFT... I mean, there's an argument.
I believe Kari is the target right now.
Yeah.
Kari is all alone on the top lane. There is Zenny, but he misses the skeleton.
Cross going in. Bar Strike through as well. The Ice Blast will be enough to bring him down. Don't even need it. In fact, the crit does the work. 40 seconds about the Necrophos.
He used the Frost Blast there on the small skeleton instead of the big one.
Well, speaking of Senny. Oh, Jesse almost dies there. The Vortex is going to go TA. The more valuable kill they might find at the Vortex is enough to hold him in place long enough. Now the Soulbind links two together. Stuns both of them, in fact. But Sand King and Wraith King, the two most tanky components of TFT. Sand King getting low. Should be going down. Frost has the second life to work with. Hasn't renewed that arm lock just yet. They're going to chase through looking for more. Chessie going to be stunned up. Stroke of Fate, just the tip, tickles him. And now, ball lightning away just before the clap can come out. Wraith King fighting up again. Never gave away that first life. Senny needs to be careful. The Skelly Bros are here to protect their daddy. Let's get them away on the side, though. They find the kill onto Chessie in the end as Saberlight runs him through.
So overall, they did manage to take down TA and the Necro, but they lost the Storm and the Sand King. So kind of an even-ish fight, all said and done. But Kari does have that Radiance finished now. So with that, I believe they will go and try to take that Roshan. The only problem is they don't have splits right now. So let's see how this attempt goes.
Especially
seeing he still has that. Oh, mid lane again.
Oh
Necro.
no, they go in. Kari, the Ice Blast, and they still have the epicenter to work with. They can move across right now if they want to. And if you get this too low, they might take it instead.
This is just the issue. They might go exactly as you said because there's no split, there's no Necro. But they're more disciplined. As you can see, they're just punishing Hippomaniacs for their own mistakes right now. It's not like they're making way too many moves. They're just punishing Hippos instead. And yeah, so far so good for them. Necro, he has to be careful because first and foremost, he has no heroes that can save him. And the second thing is, he didn't build into Yules or anything like that. So if they get on top of him, if they jump him, he's gone.
He has no chance to dodge the Ice Blast is one of the big things. And you can understand why maybe he thought Yules was a bad idea, right? You're up against Sand King with Burrow Strike. But at the same time, the defensive potential, yeah, you need something like that. Because right now, look at him. He's got this one that's been on 20 stacks the last two big fights. Because there's no point in the Shroud.
He's just unlocked. At least if he... The thing is, if he's gonna play like this, he needs teammates around him.
Deep. He's baiting them in. Getting down to half HP already. The Ice Blast coming through. No! He missed as well. Supreme! He's gonna go down. And it is gonna be the son of TFT that reigns Supreme. Jeep's still alive. Even if they get him, they'll give more for it. Saberlight moves in. Split's gonna come out. The Ignis covering their escape. Jeep. And stormed up. The Burrow Strike in 1 second. No detection. Just trying to burn him to death, but it's not working out. And
with the Radiance?
Oh, the regen rune. Oh, that feels good if you're a Sand King right now. And they don't even interrupt at the missed chance up to the high ground.
And the Wraith King is here now.
Yep.
He's ready in the air for now.
Full lightning, long range, Saberlight. He knows he's stuck in a choke point and he knows what's coming. They got the Burrow Strike. They're waiting with it. Runemaster's going to go down. And this might be where they think about Roast. They probably want to get the runes first, though.
It's still difficult. TA is up in 10 seconds. So perhaps, like the way they've been playing so far gives it away that they won't go for this Roshan. They don't really have a lot of minus armor either. You can see that Wraith King is going for Desolator, so perhaps after that is done, they can go for this Roshan attempt. They aren't really trying it way too hard.
And by then, he should have at least level 3 Vampiric Aura, which will sustain him. But yeah, that's one other big fight away. But if you see a sloppy mistake like that from Hippomaniacs next time, you could easily strike. And then the argument is that TFT... I'm going to use Jeeb as the main example right now. Why do they even need a second life?
Yep. On Storm, it's good. That's pretty much it. Storm is one of the best Aegis carriers, right? So if you give him that, it's going to be amazing.
But I guess the amazing thing for TFT is a lot of these fights, really, Chessie shows up late in the fight, so he's not really participating from the get-go. And you see how much Hippomaniacs throw into that Sand King kill, and they still get denied it every time.
I believe Hippomaniacs, they didn't realize what was very necessary for them. And what's really necessary for them is BKB on this TA. He is buying it, but they tried to fight multiple times before she got it. The reason why this BKB is so important for them is because it allows the TA to be the frontliner, to be the hero that can be up front and create enough space for this Necro to join the fight a couple of seconds later once at least one stun has been used, right? The problem with him right now is that he joins the fights way too fast. He's the first one that they initiate on, and he just falls. And then you have this such an amount of gold on this Necro that's wasted. He's just not using it in any way. Net worth, look at him. He's 9.4k. This Radiance is completely wasted every time.
Jump
TA mid.
Yay! She's gone in an instant. And now, with 50 seconds on the sideline and them taking the tier 1, I've said it a few times,
He's the
but
BKB.
this might be the timing to go into the pit, or they could just look and prowl for more kills. The options are open for TFT.
It's probably gonna be the pit, but they're still split. There's Necro, so they might be able to fight them. Instead, it looks like TFT is just gonna go back to farming. So far, this formula has been working very well for them. Get the pick off, go back to farm. Get the pick off, go back to farm. Why not? This Storm is gonna have a Bloodstone very soon.
And, you know, it seems like we're harping about Roche a lot, but the reality is when you're in these games where both teams have a lot of late game potential, yeah, that is your fault, right? Like, you know, you've had that in games where it's like immediately after that, that's got to be Roche. But TFT, like you said, the formula is working because Hippomaniacs are thirsty, right? They're desperate to get their hands on that Aegis. Whereas...
You know what? Like, I'm trying to find different strategical reasons why this Maniacs... But bottom line is they're out of position. They're just out of position so many times. I'm trying to cover their backs to just circle around it. But no, they get caught. Necro gets caught where he shouldn't get caught. Now this TA dies mid when none of her teammates are around. They just aren't playing as a team right now. And that's the bottom line. That's the reasons. That's the main reason why they're just losing control of this game. After having a dominant laning presence, they won 3 out of 3 lanes pretty much. So.
And that's just kind of the thing, you know, like in the beat of an eye, she was gone. But as you say, you should know not to be playing in that area when your team is nowhere nearby. Someone should be bodyguarding you. I guess the other thing to look at here, right, is how the net worth has swung. It is very noticeable. But more importantly, Templar Assassin had such a dominant lead, and it feels like she's got barely any gold in the last several minutes.
Exactly. Had like a 30 CS advantage over the Storm Spirit. Is still ahead when it comes to net worth, but only just slightly, 2k.
And Wraith King is tickling in. He's looking for that lead now. This Midas will soon begin to pay its dividends and beyond. And the Blink Dagger is almost ready as well.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see how this BKB on TA works and if it changes things at all. Because you're gonna have the level 3 Bloodlust, level 4 even soon on Supreme. So he's gonna be hitting really hard if he's allowed to be hitting that crazy.
Oh.
Because so far...
Saberlight in trouble. Coming in long range. Vortex gets split out just in time though. The problem is, I don't know if you've got any damage. The ATP's in. And you bank your lucky stars, you're not dead, but I'm pretty sure the rest of your team's a little bit peeved that you just used the split for nothing.
Yeah, you used the split, and perhaps now TFT can be thinking about that Roshan. They have the Blink Dagger finished up on the Wraith King too.
Invis Rune and Jesse as well. They don't have a sentry down, they know it because they have sentry on the high ground. Bar Strike's going to go through. Ice Blast, TA dying in the same place again. No BKB chance. Curry trying to move forward, needs to be careful though. Frost pursuing through, Ray Fire Blast in 2 seconds. Oh my god, that crit damage to the stun, the cold feet. Incredible lightning through, stun on the side, looking on Ogre next. And, well, looks like Cindy might be done as well. 1 crit's enough to bring him down. They chase forward with them more. Chessie can't quite find Brewmaster, but they've got the options available. Is it Roche? Is it Taz? It looks like it's Roche.
It's definitely Roche. After picking off the TA and the Necro, there's absolutely nothing stopping them, considering Panda also used his ult earlier. They pose themselves so aggressively, even though they understand that the Panda used his ult to that bottom lane in such a defensive way, and they didn't get anything out of it. It's just a difficult game for Hippomaniacs. I've been saying that they're out of position very often. They get picked off without using the smoke, without trying to make a good fight. That's true, but at the same time, they just fall so easily. They have no saves on their side. Windstroke and Ogre, they provide you with aggressive abilities, but nothing really that saves you in these kind of engagements.
It seems
you
like
don't have Abaddon or Shadow Shack or Oracle even.
Well, it seems like the story of the game is Hippomaniacs not adjusting to the variables, right? Which is something I think it'd be fair to say we see more commonly in the tier 2, tier 3 teams. Is they actually when things are going well, right, they play amazingly. And we talk about tier 1 teams, how good they are at forcing mistakes. But once these teams are off the path and they make 1 or 2 mistakes, everything about the game changes. And it seems like Hippomaniacs, based on the last few pickups from TA and Necrophos, have failed to identify that at all. Maybe a Roche will wake them up. Maybe an Aegis will finally make them realize they're no longer in the driving seats. In fact, TFT have got them by the balls.
I think they realized that a long time ago, as in the last 10 minutes they haven't really done absolutely anything across the map, and this Necro might just fall again on the mid lane.
Well, you say they've done nothing, they've done this, they've died a lot, and they're going to die again. Necrophos is going to go down, ball lighting up, won't catch on the Muff. He blinks away in time.
They just cannot show themselves anywhere on the map. The moment they do, they just fall to the same comp.
You know, respawn, walk out of base, die, rinse, repeat.
The only heroes that were in position at that particular moment were Ogre and the Brewmaster, because they were on the top lane. And even if you died there, you're forcing them back. You're forcing them away from your jungle, and they have that Aegis, so they really want to be as aggressive as possible. They want to be taking your tier 2s. Forcing them back and away from your objectives is the best that you can do right now. Perhaps smoke up, perhaps go together as 5-man onto the top lane. You're obviously just feeding them for the last 10 minutes, so this isn't what you should be doing. You have to think outside of the box. Do something else.
And it should be pointed out that actually, even in any of these fights you look at, TFT have never committed everything, right? Like, we see the Ice Blast and we'll see the use of the Will-O-Wisp, but then there's always an Epicenter. They've always got another layer. I'd say, if anything, Epicenter of this game has been like what a black hole usually is, an insurance policy. Oh, jump in the mid lane.
They used it many times.
Then it's going to go down. They're going to find secondary one Muff. Down to half HP already. Frost in trouble, but the ball line across. The Ignis is down. They trap them all in. The BKB from Supreme. Epicenter, there's the insurance policy, and it's going to pay off. Curry goes down. The buyback comes out from Grimstroke. Supreme has that BKB, but no easy way to escape. It's going to run out right now. Refraction will be back up. But they're pushing back. So why now? It won't make any difference. TA is down, and it looks like Hippomaniacs are just crumbling, and soon to be crumbling alongside them, their base.
Yeah, this is most likely the tier 3 at least. The reincarnation on Frost is going to be up again in 10 seconds. As he has full mana, Aegis.
But no,
doesn't find anything this time around. But
I mean, they don't care. Like,
yeah.
This is the thing, they don't have to care, because this is the beauty of Wraith King. When you're in a certain position like this, you have 2 Aegis carries. There's no such thing as 2 deep, Liz. Or maybe the Fountain. Maybe. I say that. He's going towards it. He'll break away then.
They did something similar in their game versus Lions. Don't tease them. Let's not have them diving the Fountain. They need to be a bit more disciplined than that.
Absolutely. Oh, we'll try to slow down this push as much as they can. 10 seconds until TA is up. They pop the reincarnation. BK Beam Saberlight. He doesn't have a split to work with though. But it'll be enough to scare them away. The TFT, they say, you know what? We actually got huge value and we've got so much gold right now. Let's just go spend it.
Yeah. They still have a minute on that Aegis, so they can even reset and go for another fight. Go back to pick up those bounties, get another item on every single hero. I believe Wraith King is going to have that Hyperstone. Yes, indeed. He gets that. Sand King gets most likely that Ultimate Orb for the Lincolns next.
Keeper of the Light is filthy stinking rich as well. Look at Hanskin's items.
There's AA ulti flying bottom, and there's Sand King ulti too.
Oh, there is. Epicenter comes out. They're going for this right now. Templar Assassin gets the BKB on TP away.
But that's a good force as well. Forcing that BKB is good too. As she doesn't have it for 60 seconds now. They can perhaps get the fight.
They're going to Hanskin. He got the Glimmer Cape out though. That's a wasted Cypher. Now they're going to initiate. Tessie goes in. Looks on the Grimstroke. Bar Strike through. He gets the ult down before he dies. And that'll allow him to clean up the rest of Hippomaniacs who are here. The pings come out. They know about Saberlight. Maybe they can get him. He has no blink for 10 seconds. Chessie, pays support the haste. The buyback comes out. They'll hesitate. They'll back across towards the mid. Supreme taps them once and moves away. And that's going to be a second melee rack. That's the price to pay for your gluttony. Gluttony,
yeah,
rather.
Supreme, he might fight this, but he doesn't have a BKB, so he has to be careful.
Oh, they force the buyback out Necrophos. Saberlight jumps in. Silence comes out, though. Chessie waits to back up a little bit. Aegis has been reclaimed. They're just biding their time. They realize Hippomaniacs are running out of resources to throw at this. They've got 1 buyback left available. Well, 2 if Brew can get the money together.
Yeah, you force those 2 buybacks, you go back, you reset. The Necro hasn't had a new item in 15 minutes more or less. The Blink Dagger is the last thing that he bought. He's trying to figure out what's next. He had the pipe queued up for a while. Now he's going back to the Yules that I think is way overdue. It's way too late. This is one of the first items that he needed to get. I completely can get behind the Radiance and the aggressive aspect of it, but they just didn't play around him that well. Or he was too deep at times and got picked off, got killed. Storm is chasing down Panda.
Oh, he just said he needs to farm buyback, not die. And he'll wish he had a buyback, because he's gone for a long time. 75 seconds on the sideline. 180 gold short.
He had the BKB there. He could have popped it and TP'd out, but he opted not to. Storm catches on top of him. And
Oh, they're obsessed. They are obsessed right now. They're going for Handskin here, but he has the Glimmer Cape. He has the 4-star to get him away, and it's just a bait. They go in. Supreme says, I'm TPing away. Ogre's like, wait, no, please, but it's too late. It was just a bait again.
May the light keep you.
Keep
Yeah,
falling
that-
for it.
Hanskin has a hex, by the way, a full hex completed on that.
He's had it like 2 or 3 minutes now. It's just so much money on. Like, look at the net worth right now. He's competing with the Brew.
Jumps in. Supreme doesn't have that BKB. He has to be careful.
Absolutely.
But the sentry that's on the right side isn't really giving them the vision to catch him.
You have one more shot, one opportunity. You can buy yourself 20 seconds to get the Brewmaster up. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to wait for that Ogre Magi. I mean, I'm not even sure if you buy yourself 20 seconds. You'll at least lose a tower by the looks of it. He actually popped the trap too early. He's not going to kill the creep wave at all. Frost just goes in. As you said, Wraith King doesn't give a
There's
damn.
creep wave mid, there's creep wave bottom. It doesn't really matter even if he gets it.
Sure.
That's not going to save them.
Well, force Frost back for the moment, but they get the tower. Oh, it's a deny. Well, that's something, I guess.
This is completely in TFT's control at the moment, and they're pretty much very disciplined. They're thinking, should we go in or should we go wait for Osho?
I mean, Roche
Maybe it's
might
a
be up in
pick-off,
20. Yeah, it's like there's no rush here. Be
There's
methodical.
a region rune for Storm as well on that bottom lane. Gonna have that to work with. Then he can rejoin them out, push bottom, rejoin them top. If you are Hippomaniacs, you're just feeling sad. You're just waiting for them to end you. There isn't really a whole lot. Like, you can try and get a good fight off of a good Reaper site, but they're in a very difficult spot.
It's going to get worse as well. Chessie just got a nice additional nuke in the form of the Shiva's Guard that's been picked up. Well, if you thought Curry disappeared fast, watch what happens probably in this next fight, because there's no way they let him live for the initial bout. In fact, he's the clearest target for them. They know he doesn't have buyback. But Roche is up. That's a quick spawn. And Era just revealed that to his team with the Ice Vortex.
Yeah, they're just gonna go instantly into that pit, and what we might see from Hippomaniacs is some smoke that's gonna try and... It's a smoke of desperation. Yeah, you can see this. They're just smoking up instantly. It's a play you have to do in such a position.
They're gonna be too late though. Oh, that's depressed. That's demoralizing. You're like, we're halfway there, boys. We're almost up there. Hit.
They're still smoked up. They still want to... Maybe they still want to find a fight outside of their base. But no, they're running bottom. I'm not certain what they're gonna find in the bottom jungle, but
They'll find themselves some nice corners to TP back to their base.
some question marks perhaps, but that's about it.
Like, well, boys, the end is nigh. How do we kill them this many times? You have to go on across first of all. Initiate Ignis goes down, but the BKBs are active, and now the stance to the back line. Ogre Magi looks like he's going to fall. Ice Blast follows through, does connect. Slightly on the Templar Assassin. The split's going to come out finally as the BKB ends, but you already lost your supports. Done out. In the meantime, the Sand King cycloning the Storm Spirit up to keep him out of the fight. The Hex is going to be there, though. And Templar Assassin, no, it couldn't happen at worse time. Storm is free to rain terror over the side of Hippomaniacs. And with the epicenter coming out, they can plow straight through the face of Necrophos. And it looks like this game is done. Hippomaniacs call the GG. TFT will be the second team to go through to the semi-finals tomorrow.
They came back strong after the laning stage, which didn't really look that well for them. After that, TA just soloed Storm once and then zoned him out of experience range so many times. Necro had a decent laning stage too, got that fairly early Radiance with the Hood of Defiance, but sadly for them, they they just crumbled after the laning stage. They couldn't find the proper ways of playing together. TA tried to go for that Roshan so many times in a row and it failed. Instead of smoking up, trying to get the pick off, doing something as a team, they were just trying to get that rush, which is impossible. As AA plus Kotl, those two heroes are enough to stop you from doing that as long as you don't have BKBs. So, yeah, some strange decision making from Hippomaniacs in this game too, and they fall to the final tribe once again. TFT, they played well. It's not they had some good plays overall, definitely. Chessie went like completely bonkers on his Storm Spirit, just did so many good plays. But overall, I believe they just capitalized on Hippomaniacs' mistakes. That's it.
Yeah, mistakes that would be made not once, but twice, 3 times a lady. And the most stupid part has to be that some of them were the same mistakes, the same exact mistakes, in fact. I think if I'm Supreme, the echoing memory in my mind of how we lost here was that mid scenario. Twice in a row, not even half a screen apart, dying in the same location like that. Rough, but that's the way things go. That's where the cookie crumbles. That means TFT will be through tomorrow, alongside Alliance. I believe Group B is still going on and still being decided, but no matter the outcome, Ninjas in Pajamas will at least be through. But, well, we're going to be back tomorrow, Liz. We've got plenty of action, actually. Because, you know, as if today wasn't long enough between all the delays, tomorrow will be more likely as long, but for good reason. We're going to have 3 best of 3s that we'll be covering. So we'll be doing one of the semifinals. We'll be doing the upper bracket for the first qualified team. And then we'll also be doing the losers bracket final. Or, sorry, lower bracket, all right? Technically, they are losers, but if they win there, they're still winners. So it's kind of complicated.
Make them feel a bit better. There you go. Lower bracket.
It's the politer thing to do. But that means we're done here, guys. I believe the action is still underway, rather, on BTS 2. If I just check, I'm almost certain it is. Yeah, it's Nomad and Bowie. They'll take you through the action there. Right now, they have got Aken versus Ninjas in Pajamas. Aken City versus Ninja in Pajamas. I believe Aken City is a new roster compared to the last time they were seen in qualifiers, but plenty of action going on there. You go catch that. I believe there's more action coming later today as well with the SA qualifiers. Yes. And I'm guessing it's probably Breaky taking you through that one. But that's it for our coverage of Eve today. We'll be back tomorrow. Go buy yourself a DX Racer. DX Racer, DX Racer, DX Racer. There we go. I met my quota. They're good chairs. All right? Stick your ass in it and go to heaven. And now we're going to go to sleep. See you later.